U.S.-Russia attempting to ease tensions after MQ-9 crash. Officials from the United States and Russia are engaging in communication following the incident involving the MQ-9 Reaper in the Black Sea. This incident adds to the list of American surveillance aircraft that have been downed by Russia or with Russian assistance. U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin reportedly called Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu on Wednesday, March 15, 2023, Washington time. Meanwhile, U.S. Joint Chiefs of Staff General Mark Milley is reported to be attempting to call Russian Chief of the General Staff General Valery Gerasimov. The core of communication between these four generals revolves around the American MQ-9 Reaper surveillance strike aircraft that crashed in the Black Sea. On Tuesday, March 14th, the aircraft went down after its propellers were struck by oil leakage from a Russian Su-27 fighter jet. Not only did the oil leak occur, but the U.S. claims that the Su-27 repeatedly disrupted the flight path of the MQ-9. Russia denies intentionally downing the surveillance strike aircraft, which is typically equipped with air-to-air and air-to-ground missiles. Moscow alleges that the MQ-9 crashed due to operator error. In the U.S., questions have been raised about the presence of missiles on the MQ-9 that crashed in the incident. If the aircraft was armed with missiles, the U.S. Department of Defense and military must explain why the MQ-9 did not engage the Su-27. If the MQ-9 was unarmed, authorities need to clarify why such an expensive aircraft was sent into a dangerous area without weaponry. Some speculate that the decision to down the aircraft is part of an effort to de-escalate tensions. The telephone conversations between the four top U.S.-Russia generals are also seen as part of this easing of tensions. CNN reports that Moscow and Washington are maintaining communication channels to prevent open warfare between the U.S. and Russia. The U.S. Department of Defense confirms the existence of this communication channel referred to as a conflict prevention mechanism. Essentially, the U.S. and Russia continue to share general information about the movements of their respective forces. Information is exchanged if their forces are in proximity to dangerous or potentially hostile areas. The U.S. has used this channel during Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The channel was also utilized when U.S. President Joe Biden visited Ukraine a few weeks ago. During the visit, no Russian missiles or rockets approached Kyiv. A similar channel was used to ease tensions in February 2018. At that time, U.S. forces engaged in a firefight with Wagner Group mercenaries deployed in Syria. Both U.S. forces and Russian company-affiliated mercenaries suffered casualties in the battle. Russian experts, such as Andrew Weiss from the Carnegie Endowment, suggest that Russia is capitalizing on the MQ-9 crash. Moscow can restore its credibility without sacrificing any soldiers of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO. The incident location was carefully chosen for minimal risk. Although the area is referred to as international airspace, Moscow designates the skies over the Black Sea as Russia's Air Defense Identification Zone, ADIZ. Various countries, including the U.S., have ADIZ and require foreign aircraft to adhere to national ADIZ rules. Russia has repeatedly downed or assisted in downing American drones and surveillance aircraft. From 1945 to 1977, the Soviet Union acknowledged downing 40 American surveillance aircraft. One of them was a C-130 aircraft with flight number 60258. Carrying 17 crew members, the aircraft was shot down by the Soviet Union and crashed in Armenia. In the 21st century, several American drones were downed in the Middle East and North Africa. In August 2022, an MQ-9 crashed in Benghazi, Libya. To date, the U.S. Department of Defense has not disclosed the cause of the accident. Meanwhile, the Libyan National Army, LNA, led by Khalifa Haftar, claims responsibility for the shooting. The LNA is known to receive significant support from Russia in the Libyan civil war. The LNA also downed an MQ-9 near Tripoli in 2019. At the time, the LNA claimed that it accidentally shot down the aircraft, mistaking it for a Bayraktar operated by another group in the Libyan civil war. Tripoli wasn't the only place where American drones were downed in 2019. Using Soviet-made SA-6 air defense artillery, Houthi militias shot down an MQ-9 in Yemen in June 2019. The Houthis also attempted to shoot down an RQ-4 Global Hawk in the Gulf of Oman in June 2019 using an SA-7 anti-aircraft missile. However, the attempt failed as the missile missed the target by about 1 kilometer. In Syria in 2015, a US MQ-9 Predator drone was downed by Syrian government forces. Similar to the LNA, Syrian government forces also received significant support from Russia. All of these incidents did not lead to larger conflicts. The US responded to the series of downed drones by Iran and the Houthis with an attack on Baghdad airport. Using an MQ-9, the US launched missiles at a convoy that included General Qasem Soleimani. As a result, the commander of the Quds force in the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, was killed on January 3, 2020. Iran retaliated by firing rockets and mortars at several US bases in Iraq. No US soldiers were killed in the attack.
Military Combat News newspaper brings you the latest breaking news videos and explainers from the UK and around the world. Be a loyal subscriber of Military Battle News and press the bell to be first on our news.